Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, July 19th. Listen to THHoopers, Ricky Rubio's favorite basketball podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Lehman, a little under the weather, so if I mute to sneeze or blow my nose, try not to sniffle, but I know I would hate hearing that. But it's a podcast, it's voice, so I gotta improvise somehow. I'm joined here with George Martin.
Thought we were going to get a Rudy Fernandez favorite player pod, but Ricky Rubio still works.
Rudy Fernandez. What am I thinking? It was a dunk, right? Where he goes, Rudy Fernandez. It was a dunk, right, on the Nuggets?
Yeah.
Because I was watching the game and I was like, I know he played for the Nuggets. I have that iconic call in my head of him going, Rudy, like yelling it. So also got to change the brand here. We are not J Sports Podcast. There we go. StreamYard free promo. All right. No Josh tonight. He's in Hawaii.
Living bougie.
Living the life. I don't know how much he got on the water today because he was texting a lot of nostalgic basketball stuff, which is something Josh normally does when he gets bored. He was saying that he missed the old Magic logo, that the Lakers should sign Jody Meeks. He was in a deep NBA hole. But that's how we like Josh. Sometimes he goes in these random things and he brings stuff to our attention.
Deep bag of basketball knowledge.
But regardless, we got a good show. Breakdown of Game 5 and preview of Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Team USA winning their final exhibition game before they head to Tokyo. And making sense of the Dame rumors. Josh kind of got ahead of the story on last pod. And then we were like, oh, cool. And then Dame's like, no, I don't want to be traded. So we're going to make a whole lot of sense of that. But first, if you guys like what you hear, make sure to follow us at THHoopers, Instagram and Twitter. Or, George, what's your Twitter?
G_Martin21.
So yeah, George blows up sometimes on there, 3K likes. He says some stupid stuff. He's a quantity over quality guy. Sometimes that quality hits you right in the kisser. So if you want to see him show up on your feed, drop him a follow there. That's more likely we're going to be dropping all our new Twitter stuff.
We're thinking about it.
Stuff like that. So yeah, George is thinking about it just because he's kind of blowing up there. So I think it's a good idea. We'll keep the Instagram. Hopefully we keep growing. But yeah, at THHoopers Insta. And then if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. All right, let's get right into it. I'm glad I at least got you because you, one, have Bucks winning the series, and two, been a big Booker guy. So Bucks beat the Suns at 123-119, take a 3-2 series lead. Series now heads to Milwaukee, where the Bucks have lost one time all this postseason. One time, that game 1 to Atlanta. I'll read some stats up for you. Most notably, Booker 40-piece here, his second 40-piece of the series. Two players, I think it's the first time two players in the same series have had back-to-back 40-point games.
Definitely.
Which doesn't see. It's an ESPN snap, but at the same time, it's crazy. It's insane. But for Milwaukee, Giannis 32 on efficient shooting again. Drew Holiday, though, game ball goes to him, 27 points, 13 assists, and he just got his confidence back. He really did. The one play I knew he had his confidence back. He got that steal, and then he pulls it out, hits a 3 in the third quarter on the road. Like he had his confidence there. Then obviously we'll get into the steal, the lob, but just I'll let you talk about Booker. What's been different these past 2 games that made me hate him the first 3 games? Are the shots just going in, or is there better shot selection? Talk to me.
Definitely better shot selection. Dribble handoffs, running more actions for him. They've basically given him the keys to the offense where we've seen Chris Paul had it early on, and he's just taken a lot more shots. High volume here, 33 this game. Not sure what it was in game 4, but I think it was at least 28. So he's been taking a lot of shots. That's kind of a key to get him going. I know it might seem like he's kind of withholding the rest of the offense, but just, getting in the post, getting him to work, low elbow, just letting him post up, hit middies, footwork. They've kind of just let him do all. And I feel like that's really what gets him going. It lets him get into a rhythm. Too many times, Chris Paul, Bridges, Crowder, just those guys will be getting more touches. And I think you brought this up that Booker off ball isn't as good, or what did you say a few podcasts ago?
Booker off ball is very good. Like when he came out to the league, he was insane off ball. He was like almost Clay light. And now they just start giving him the ball and they tell him ISO. Like you mentioned, though, they're putting him in more actions right now.
Yeah.
They're giving him more stuff to do. They're not just saying, go get us a bucket, because it's very hard to do that against a defensive team like the Bucks. You got either Drew Holiday on you, lanky ass Chris Middleton, or God forbid Giannis steps up one time and guards you. So it's not easy to just go ISO. So like you said, they're putting in a lot of actions right here, and it's almost like listening to the pod. Either me or you said it. Just get him more involved. Like, don't just give him the ball, because they let Chris Paul run the offense. Like you said, they gave Book the keys now, and he's succeeding now. Speaking of Chris Paul, though, you like the bounce back game?
Yeah, no, he had a very pedestrian. Like, you watch this game, very quiet, 21-11, very efficient too, 9-15.
A lot of them came in the fourth. Like,
yeah,
late
he had
in the fourth, trying to get back in the game.
Very great fourth quarter. He wasn't really good up the first three quarters. Very efficient. Didn't miss a 3-pointer. That was very key as well. Yeah, he was a lot better. I felt like I just, anytime Booker wasn't having the ball or Booker was getting too much attention, Chris Paul would come off, just hit an open three, step into it. It felt kind of effortless with these two. And I'll let you talk or ask your next question, but this game was just fascinating for a multitude of reasons, but I'll let you get a word in and then we'll move on.
Well, let me hear what are one of the reasons that just like caught your eye, because I mean, one of them that caught my eye, only one player on Phoenix shot under 50% and they lost the game.
It's that they shot near 70% from three, 55% from the field. If you showed me this game with these stats, I would have thought Milwaukee got ran off the floor by 20. And just like looking at Milwaukee, 50% from three, 58 from the field. I mean, you show me Drew Holiday having 27 and 13, Giannis getting his 30, Chris Middleton having his 30. I'm thinking the Bucks are winning by 20, and it's a 4-point game, and it came down to the very last play. I mean, this was just like, and it wasn't that high scoring. I mean, 123, 119.
Mm-hmm. For modern day,
that's not that high scoring at all. It's just like really fast. Because I knew both teams shot like incredibly well during the game, but I'm like, 60%? You shoot that well, you're winning by double digits. I mean, this was just like almost an anomaly of a game. It was incredible. It's probably one of the best finals games I've watched since 2016. I mean, this was a classic for sure.
And let's get down to probably one of the biggest reasons. It was one of the best you've watched in a long, long time. Not the last play of the game, the last highlight play of the game. Buck drives, gets caught up, Drew Holiday steal. He's dribbling down. There's 16 seconds left. Normally, hold the ball, you're up 1. He sees Giannis running like a goddamn madman. He's taking leaps and bounds. He looked like a goddamn hyena. And I don't know if he pointed or if he just going towards the hoop. He did point.
He kind of hinted.
So Drew lobs it. Probably one of the best lobs I've seen in the past few years, just in general.
That lob kind of just reminds me of like Kobe Shaq almost, just like with the magnitude of it. This is a finals game. I know that was in the conference finals, but when Drew stripped it, I looked at who was behind him first. Giannis was trailing him, and I was looking at what Drew. I was looking. I'm like, hold on. As it was developing, I wanted to see where Drew went. Drew starts like kind of going out. Giannis keeps filling in. I'm like, they're gonna throw this. So he threw it about as high as I ever could have thought someone could have caught it, and a thunderous dunk. I mean, that's Fortnite in the background, but I mean, just that whole play. I mean. It just kind of reminds me of like, again, 2016, a sequence of the shot, the block, and then the clamp. I mean, just the strength to rip Devin Booker, turn around, run down the court, and basically put the ball where only he could have caught it. Obviously, Chris Paul was down there. Chris Paul wasn't getting anything, but just he said he threw it as high as he could just to get it out of the way and put it to a place where he could finish it. I mean, in a finals game, I mean, that's ridiculous. I couldn't even tell you if I had ever seen that before in a finals game.
Well, I think it was the most ballsy finals play we've seen since the no-look JR lob to LeBron. I think that that was like in the third quarter. They were up a lot.
Yeah, exactly. This was to ice the game.
So I'll take you through my mindset. I didn't get to watch this game live. I caught the whole thing later. I believe. This morning, and. So because I'm working at 5 to 10. I'm closing up the ice cream shop. And I have the game on my iPad, but it's a Saturday night. It's busting at Baskin Robbins. So I missed the whole game, and I go in the back, and I see, there's this last play. And I only saw that play. It was the only play I saw in the whole game. And I'm just like, did I actually just see this? Because I didn't get it spoiled for me. No one texted me anything afterwards. It was just, I think everyone's just in shock that they actually attempted that. And they actually got that dunk pulled off. It was an N1. And then but just another blunder by the Suns. It's an and one, so Giannis has to shoot a free throw. That's how and ones work. And you cannot tell me that an NBA Finals game at home, no one said, I got shooter. You got to be kidding me. You can't let Giannis Antetokounmpo get his own rebound on that shot. And he tips it out. Yeah, he's doing the whole fumbling thing, and Middleton gets fouled. I don't know how you don't box out there.
I don't say it's a fumbling thing. I think he tipped it out purposely to Middleton, who is their best free throw shooter. Smart play. Tip it out. He's like, I mean, I know Chris Paul was like, oh, everyone's expecting him to miss free throws, even him, but it's a smart, analytically, you look at the numbers, it's a smart play to get it to Chris, who I think is their best free throw shooter. I mean, he usually knocks him down late game, but I mean, just that whole sequence, I couldn't explain it, because I think what happened was they came down, Drew got up a funky shot, and then, they kind of blew it in the late minutes. They were up, 6 foot. Phoenix went on like a 12-3 run. I'm like, this isn't good. Yeah. And because Bucks would just, Chris, Drew, like all three of them, I've never seen them play this good in their first season together. And Drew throws up like a clinker. D-Book comes down. They don't use a timeout. Like you said, D-Book goes right away. He goes right at PJ Tucker. Thought he would have dribbled it out more. Maybe that's a possession you have it in Chris Paul's hands. I've noted that I wouldn't mind having it in Chris Paul's hands at all in late games. And he goes, and then he stops, and I don't know. Jitters, I don't want to say that. He seems like he's been proven. He stops, turns, and Drew just I
don't think it's on Booker. I think it's great play by Holiday. And then also, no one told him Holiday was coming. You learned that in grade school. If if a defender's going to double you, you tell your teammate. That's just how it is. And he got absolutely ripped from it, because Drew Holiday is an absolute ox. And I think it's a great defensive play by Drew Holiday. And you don't see me defending Booker too much, but he didn't do any wrong that last play. He looked like he had PJ Tucker to the left. He's going to get that, because it looked like he was turning around to fade away. His patented fade away from the elbow. And Drew Holiday was just there. And, the rest is history. So, yeah, great Drew Holiday game. Middleton, though, comes off a 40 bomb, 29, 52%. Are we going to, we'll get into this in the preview for Game 6. Is it going to be a new level of hell that Chris Middleton fans are going to have to go through in Game 6? Because he had the peak game, he had the mid game now. Next week might be the Kuzma game.
I don't know, man. So listen, he was having his Kuzma game to start. He started 1 of 7, 1 of 8 early on. He had an incredible second half to finish what you said, over 50% shooting.
Clutch shots too. A lot of clutch shots. Yeah,
he was hitting those, sidestep threes like he was Harden or KD. On the road, I mean, the last time Middleton played this great on the road was when they played Boston in 2017, 2018. That's the only place he's played good on the road.
Deep in your archive for that one.
He comes out with a game like this. Did he get over the hypothetical hump of not having consistent games? I don't know. If he was able, like you said, clutch shots, second half, I don't know. It's gotten
so meta that his alter egos clash during the game. You said he had a horrible first half. Yeah, he did. And then he turns Jordan second half. He's just every shot he puts up, you're like, man, I don't know.
It's like that meme where it's the guy sweating and it's the butt, and it's like prime MJ, prime Kuzma. He hit both of them in each half.
He was button mashing. But I mean, another guy, Patty Connaughton.
We got to talk about him.
Hits timely buckets and plays great defense.
I don't know.
Is he the best role player in this series?
Yeah, I would say so. Consistency wise, I saw a stat. I don't know it exactly, so don't fact check me here. He doesn't obviously take that high volume of shots, only 6 here. That's probably what he averages around. He's been over 50%, I think, in every game besides 2. Since Dante went down with an injury, I kind of thought that their perimeter defense was cooked, and they wouldn't have that high role player level guy. Connaughton, every single night, he's playing big minutes, showing up, hitting threes. Especially in Game 4, he had a horrible play where he ran down the court, had a fast break. It was like a 2-on-1. He tried throwing some pass when he had an open layup right into a Jay Crowder. Then he comes down the next possession, hits a huge three to keep them within one possession. They end up winning that game. Obviously, he doesn't make that. Who knows what happens? Yeah, he's been phenomenal. Every shot was a three, made 4 of them out of 6. That's basically what he's been called upon. And honestly, anytime he gets an open look, I kind of think it's going in. I mean, this is how incredible he's been this series.
Yeah, he's so selective with his shots. He just when he gets open, it's going up. And yeah, like I said, almost every game he's shooting over 50. And he's not doing DiVincenzo. You know, DiVincenzo's a much better player, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, me too.
But he is filling that role. And they really only go 6 deep, 7 if you count Bobby Portis 20 minutes this game. Another great game, Bobby Portis. He just brings the energy. He looks crazy. He's fun to watch.
He is Milwaukee. He is the fan favorite of that Bucks team.
Oh yeah. Well, they got a few though. They got Patty C, white man can't jump in the dunk contest. Bobby Portis, PJ Tucker. It's got they got some guys there.
It's just they're just a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Anything else to add from Game 5?
So yeah, I got a few more things here. I mean, just everyone on the Bucks I wanted to talk about this. This right here, honestly, was like the perfect game out of Milwaukee. I know they only won by 4. When you say perfect game, you're expecting a big win, but just of everything that was needed, like I could not have asked for a more perfect game from guys. Drew, obviously 27 and 13. He looked like 2018 Drew, the one that put Dame in like a duffel bag and when they swept them. I mean, just that one play, man. I think I texted the group chat. He ripped Chris Paul, came down, just hit a step back 3, and I'm like, the net didn't even move. I'm like, what is going on? of all the games he's had, of all the bad playoff games, I could not. If you told me he was going to have 27 and 13 on 12 of 20, I would have thought you were showing me a 2K
Last
stat.
game he was 4 for 20.
He had games like that. 4 for 17, 5 for 20, like all these games. And this singular game quite literally makes the contract extension worth it, like in totality.
And that singular steal is worth 3 first-rounders.
Yeah, I mean the swaps, the steal, whoever they sent over, Bledsoe. I mean, they win that title. That single performance is worth the 170 Ms. And then really quickly, Giannis, pedestrian stat line, 32, 9, and 6. He was, I mean, besides the dunk, he wasn't really talked about a whole heck of a lot. He definitely started out slow. He was struggling, but his playmaking made up for it a lot. He was having.
This was another game where he just kind of, he let the offense come to him. He 32 is not that pedestrian, but for Giannis, pretty normal. He's averaging 36 in the series. So he just, when guys like Drew and Middleton are clicking, he's just like, all right, cool.
There was a lot of plays. I know he's not fully healthy with that knee. Obviously, we saw it, bend backwards, but he looks like he was walking up the court. I think he might be tired as well. They were alluding to that on the broadcast. I don't know how tired he is, honestly, but there was places he'd walk up, then he'd get the ball, and then he'd get defensive attention. He'd rotate over and then hit a nice bounce pass, kick to the corner, open shots. He was creating, and when those guys are on, you don't know who to key in on because you could have gotten away with, locking in on Giannis and then be like, okay, Chris beat us. And now if Chris has shown it 2 games in a row, if Drew shows it 2 games in a row, I find it very hard to bet against this Milwaukee team. But for them,
if he shows it 2 games in a row, they have the Larry OB because they're 1 game away.
Obviously.
And
so
you okay?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Sorry.
You knew you were gonna sneeze for like 10 seconds. You can't just.
I didn't know. I thought it wasn't coming to me. Sorry, Jake.
Oh my God!
Sorry, Jake. I know you're listening to this, but really quickly to finish it off with the Suns side. I mean, they played great too. Ayton had a 20 and 10 double. I mean,
you're just going down the line.
I don't know. I can't really explain. Just. Milwaukee was just better, honestly. Late game execution, that's all I can say.
We can explain it by just saying the Bucks just win games. They just go in there, and they just find a way to win, whether it's a Drew Holiday steal, a Mickey Mouse Chris Middleton game. Like, they just find ways to get W's.
And I told you this off the pod. I don't know if I said it on. The deeper the series gets, it always favors Milwaukee just because their physicality, how they play.
The Suns were worn down by end of Game 3. They were not ready for that Game 3 in Milwaukee.
No.
So I guess it's a good segue to Game 6 that will be in Milwaukee that have worn down the Suns. and we got to preview this thing. So I mean, I guess we'll start with the Bucks.
Yep.
We touched on it a little bit, so I don't want to touch on it. I don't want to do a whole segment on it, but which Middleton we getting? You didn't give a full answer because it would say this is the horrible game. Then he has the MJ game, game 7.
We're getting a horrible game. I think we're gonna get an average Middleton here. Maybe he puts up a lot of shots. Maybe he's like an 11 for 25, like not horrible, but like just pedestrian. I don't think he's gonna be cool. I don't expect like a 5 for 23 game. So I think he's gonna be average here.
Okay, and then Holiday. It's always those two co-stars that you got to focus in on.
I think this is a big confidence booster for him, especially the shots he was taking. If he was hitting like open threes and just finishing his laps, then I'd be like, okay, a little bit more hesitant. It was the shot
selection where you're
the
like,
shot selection
got his swagger, right?
Shot selection, step back 3 after a steal, ripping Devin Booker late in the game, and then throwing the highest lob since Shaq caught a lob from Kobe in the Portland series. The confidence and like the balls just to take stuff like that he did, I think he's going to have a huge game. And
then getting moving a little bit on, he's getting a little chippy in the media. 2 interviews. One of them, the Suns are just pissed. They're very upset.
They're very rattled.
That reporter, I'm sure everyone saw it, where he asked D-Book, how frustrated are you for Chris Paul? And I think he assumed that he said, how frustrated are you with Chris? And he was just upset.
He just said next question.
He was like, next question. So I would be pissed too. I was up 2-0, and now I'm going into their house, and I got to win or go home. So I'd be a little pissed too. But then also Chris Paul, a little out of pocket. He was like, we got a box out there. Everyone's expecting to miss, even Giannis, which I'm not a huge fan of, just because that's one of the main things I like about Giannis. He's not scared to go there and shoot free throws. Like he knows he's going to airball one eventually. He knows he's going to brick one eventually.
He's even said that. Have you seen that interview? That one practice interview? I'll have to show you then. It was like a shoot around, and he's like, yeah, I know I'm going to go up there and airball him, but it can't. It's all up from there. It can't get much worse. And I keep shooting them every single time I get up to the line. Yeah, that one. So like you said,
it's that confidence, and I definitely did expect that there were going to be shots thrown, and the Suns would do them first, because the Bucks don't have a whole lot of trash talkers in the media side. I know PJ Tucker's jawing all 48 minutes, but they don't have a lot of guys who are like going to go up to the podium. And
he's played with the backcourt of the Phoenix Suns, so obviously it's a little bit personal with him. And the Suns, they're a fun, entertaining team, but once adversity hits, man, they kind of get a little annoying.
We'll definitely talk about it. I don't want us to just be like, oh, Bucks are champions. Like, let's trash talk the Suns. But like in series, like they showed a lot of immaturity leading up to this final series. Most notably, getting kicked out of the last game against the Lakers. They were very very sore winners. They were like going up to Lakers players, like Lakers benches and fans, and like trash talking them. Like Booker and Jay Carter got kicked out of the game. You got to do something very out of pocket to get kicked out of the game with 10 seconds left. Like those refs must have really thought there's something up. And then just adversity in general, like they went into game 5 against the Clippers, and they're like, we're just going to win this game. And the Clippers bodied them on their home court. They eventually won in 6, but they don't have that maturity that the Bucks do. So it's like a little bit of Suns. I asked this with Giannis when he had those back-to-back 40s. Is Booker doing it a third time?
I can't see it. I said with Yanni he could. Obviously, I guess you could say Booker handles the ball more and they run more actions for him, so it's more likely for him to get it. But
he had 20 more shots than the next guy, Chris Paul, this game.
I know. And as much as I'd like to see Booker, succeeding, I guess I won't say succeeding because they lost, but having a great game like this, it kind of holds back from Phoenix, no? If he's taking that many more shots?
It does. It definitely does.
That's why I can't see him having another 40. With the Bucks probably keying in a little bit more defensively. Or maybe they just say, hey, let him shoot. Maybe this is the Nikola Jokic, scheme. Let him shoot as much as he wants because it takes the ball away from guys like Chris Paul, who gets guys like Crowder, Bridges, Cam Johnson looks. So what do you think?
Well, I definitely think Phoenix is in the best hands when Chris Paul's handling the ball. That's why they went on that run. CP was either getting the lane, doing a stupid little flop, and trying to get and ones. He wasn't getting the whistle; he was getting the layups going in. But
yeah, he had a quick 6 points. Yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, Booker shouldn't be shooting as much as he is," because the shots he's taking, they're pretty solid shots. And he went 17 for 33 here. If he was over 50%, can't knock the guy. But there are room for improvement, and I definitely do think their ceiling is highest when he's running a lot of off-ball stuff, and then just getting stuff in the rhythm of the offense. And that rhythm is built by Chris Paul. That's why they're the second seed in the NBA. That's why Chris Paul was an MVP favorite and in the season.
So yeah, I don't see him getting 40 again.
Do you see any because both these teams are just running their starters. They're going 6 deep max. Do you see a surprise hero this game, like a campaign going and getting 30 minutes and then getting 20 points or something, or
maybe Phoenix's side? Milwaukee, they can't pull. They don't have anyone else to pull either. Teague should not be getting any minutes. And he's getting damn near double-digit minutes, but Phoenix's side. Yeah, I guess I could see a campaign randomly be getting more minutes, maybe for a Book or a CP. I would doubt CP, but I honestly no. I think we're pretty locked into rotations here. I would say Suns are more likely because Bucks they're really just forced to run.
They're not going to mix anything up, and they don't know.
Yeah.
Pat Connaughton's nice. He's not going to have 25. He knows his role. I've been thinking about this, especially because last game 5, he goes 4 for 11 from the free throw line. Are we going to see a desperation hack Giannis?
I don't know.
I don't think they pulled it out this final
series. No, maybe they don't feel like it's what they have been in a lot of foul trouble. Same as this game. I think CP and Book both had 5 here, and Book had 7 in game 4. So. I don't think they've been able to do it really with foul trouble. I know Aiden's been in foul trouble damn near every game. Yeah. Maybe if they're not, I could see it, but I feel like at home he's a pretty decent. He went 12 for 18 in game 4 from the line. So I don't know. Maybe Monty doesn't like the antics of it. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't think it's really a factor.
I feel like we will see some, maybe not that, but something crazy, just because when they get down or whatever, when they're not running the way they want to run, he starts throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. Very Ty Lue-esque. When we saw that dual point guard lineup when Booker got benched with Campaign and Chris Paul, he just throws a lot of stuff to kind of feel out stuff. And I feel like he might get a little desperate. He's a great coach. Hasn't really been here before. Not a whole lot of playoff experience, and it hasn't really hit him yet. But with a physical team like this, you need playoff experience, and that's what the Bucks bring. Is it time for predictions?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right. You first. You're the Bucks guy. Are we going 7 or? I
hate to go away from my prediction because I've been so I just stayed tight to them.
Well, you did have Suns last game, so we all had Suns.
I thought I had the Bucks.
No, sir.
Oh,
you have Bucks in 7 though.
I do. But I usually don't go. I usually set it up to where I can get it to what I predict. But here,
see, theoretically, you would have the Suns, so you can go 7 and Bucks win. Theoretically,
I can't. I think I'm going with Brandon Jennings here. I think it's Bucks in 6.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid 4 in a row.
They're going back home. Just another Chris Middleton 40 bolts. Connaughton maybe has an explosion. Yanni locked in. I don't see them losing this opportunity to win at home. They haven't won since 40 years, something like that, something crazy like that. So
71.
Yeah.
So, 50.
50. Sorry,
50
I think it's 50, 51. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with them. I think they're going to close it out. Might be a runaway at the end.
All right. So, excuse me. Not only do I need the Suns to win, because if they win, I have a chance to go to Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Maybe not go to Game 7, but you'll be out there in the environment.
I'll find a way in. I will do it.
Just go to a bar down the street.
Arizona, if I'm 20 minutes from the arena, I'll climb through the vent like I'm Inspector Gadget. I'm gonna pay $2,000 for scalp tickets.
Please record.
I'm gonna get in
and we can upload it to THHoopers YouTube.
Of course, I'll get a picture with Suns and 4 guy. But now that's what my heart wants. I do have the Suns winning though, just because I don't see a way that Milwaukee rattles off 4 in a row against the Suns. They have too good of a game plan. Like I know I just mentioned, not a lot of playoff experience. Like Monty Williams will not get 4 put on his head in a row.
Is Bud running circles around Coach Monty?
Unless Bud tells Bobby Portis to elbow everyone in the sternum when he goes up for a layup, Bud is not running circles. That physicality is a Bucks staple. Maybe it is Bud. I don't know. But as far as the Suns, I think they're going to get back to what works. I think CB3 knows his legacy is on the line here. Not because
legacy
he's not going to get... Not just because
legacy games.
Not just because he didn't win oh my gosh. He didn't win a ring, but he blew a 2-0 lead. That would be
if we get a CP3 disaster class and a Bucks win, I'm gonna go berserk.
So we both are in agreement. Bucks are a great team, but they're just so stupid. And I feel like we're gonna have one of those stupid games.
They haven't been incredibly stupid this series though.
So they're due. I think I really do think they're gonna have a stupid game. And I think it's gonna be close at halftime. Big third quarter, Suns go away with it, and then fourth, borderline garbage time. As garbage time as NBA Finals can get. How do you see the game playing out? You said it could be a runaway for the Bucks?
Yeah, maybe with like 5 minutes left in the fourth. I don't think it's going to be. I don't even. What garbage time? Like Lakers Bucks or not? Like Lakers Heat game 6 when we went up like 30 at halftime. And Miami had 34 at the half. or something.
No, I got the Suns winning.
All right, hey, I mean, power to you, but yeah, I think it'll be close like it was this past game, and the Bucks will run it off quicker than what they did in Game 5.
Josh agrees. He also has the Suns. He actually has the subs according to the group chat.
Actually, he shouldn't be tired. It's 9:27.
So, I assume he has the Suns. I didn't get a breakdown, but he's got the Suns. Mostly, I think, just because he doesn't want to be completely wrong. He had the Suns in 5, like a moron. I had Suns in 6. They go 7.
It's not horrible.
Not bad, especially everything makes sense.
7 just turns into a pick 'em. You don't really
exactly.
You weren't that far off.
Is this Milwaukee's best chance to win? If it goes 7,
1,000%.
And if it goes 7, are you just scared because anything can happen in Game 7, like you always love saying?
I'm giving you the cheesy, corny quote.
Too much momentum from the Suns. Whatever happens in this game will carry over. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to give you the George answer. There's so many outlier performances that can happen in a Game 7. I mean, Jamal Murray, I know that wasn't the finals. He had a 40 bomb. He was horrible against the Clippers all that series. It was all Jokic, and then they finally come back, force Game 7. Murray has a 40 bomb, and just, I don't know. You don't want to – my dad says this. We're getting a Philip quote here.
We're getting a Philly quote.
You never want to let it go to Game 7 because anything can happen. That's basically where I get it from. So I'm gonna stick with that.
Did he put that on a T-shirt?
I don't think so. He probably got it from his dad, George Phillip.
And he got it from his dad, Philip George.
Oh, great! We're giving my timeline
I'm giving your family tree. And what will your kid's name be if your life falls you?
No comment.
It'll be Philip George. It just goes back and forth. But we decided today, I'm naming my kid Martin because Marty Lehman sounds goated. That's a great name.
You're welcome. Also, Jake said he doesn't trust people with 2 first names, aka me.
Well, Jake hit a 3 in today's game, so.
Oh yes, we should update
the listeners. We are now 1-1 in our rec league. George 4 points today. Give it up for him. Very good.
But I got a lot of rebounds, probably double-digit rebounds. Yeah, I was
probably
snagging the boards.
Double, yeah.
Snagging the boards. Lehman was going, good board every time I got a board.
Rewarding the big man doesn't work because I don't like getting the ball to George on offense, but I reward him through words of encouragement. That's how it kind of goes.
Lehman, 5 threes, 19-point finish. Very, very good bounce back game from him.
We needed a win. It was very.
We need a Lehman masterclass, and we got that. Just that.
I wouldn't call it a masterclass.
I mean, 5 threes is
a masterclass. I got to be trash talking too. That's when I'm in my element. And these guys,
you'll trash talk when we play Ribby.
They were a little too. They were a little too nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, next game, I think we played we play Coastal.
Oh, we played Chet Holmgren.
We play some tall ass lanky white dudes.
They dunked last game. They dunked.
And I will be coming from AZ, where I will see Game 7. I know I will. So I'll be coming back on a Sunday. The game's at 6. We'll see what happens. I leave at 10. I'm gonna be car lagged. But enough about us. Time for actual basketball. Sounds like I was gonna go to an ad break, but we're just gonna keep going. Team USA goes to 2-2 in their exhibition games. They beat Spain. Not very pretty in the first half. Second half really took over. Me and George were debating. Both the Gasol brothers played. They did play. Mark started, popping off the bench.
Yeah.
Ricky Rubio was torching Team USA to start in the first half. Even the start of the third quarter, he was doing very well. And then Rudy Fernandez. They got a lot of NBA guys that I love watching them because I'm like, man, what? I just get new player pod names. I'm like, what happened to that guy? Oh, he's playing for Spain still, even though he's 41. So Powell, also 41. He's the Louis School of that team. Had a nice putback dunk off a free throw. Very pretty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He can sing it up.
I just want to talk about one. This is Spain, so pretty solid win. Spain is always a very tough out in this tournament. And
two of the last 3 two of the last 3 Olympic gold matches between these two teams.
Yeah. So I don't know if that happened again. Australia looks pretty good this year.
They do.
But we'll see what happens. But just talk a little bit Team USA. We're also going to talk Spain too because we're a basketball podcast, not a USA podcast. But I'll say one. I think USA's finally not being they're not kind of like pussyfooting around. They learn the rules. They're not going to be able to just fall and get the foul call. And they just have too much talent in offense that when they're actually hitting their shots, it's almost curtains.
Yeah, no, this is the talent we expected. Just, they're going to get hot and overtake games no matter what. They can get punched in the mouth. A team can come out.
No other country has a Kevin Durant. It's just like that.
Yeah, and then you look at the 2 through 7 of Team USA versus the 2 through 7 of the Slovenia or Australia, and it's like, wow, look at the difference. But I'm gonna go with a little bit of different here. I could obviously talk about stars. I could talk about Dame and Levine.
Yeah,
a little bit of a bright spot here for. No, I got a bright spot here with Team USA. I think I'm going to take your words here, but Keldon Johnson, very impressive third quarter. He's one of those guys like we talked about. What Team USA needs, a guy who can slash, can defend, can catch and shoot, just be off ball because they have so many guys who can create and score, and he can also play make when he wants to, and just
great
those
cutter.
High level role players.
Zach LaVine also being a great cutter, being a great role player for the squad.
Just knowing that what they need to do and their role isn't huge and they don't need to be relied on every possession. And I wish Team USA had more of those guys. It doesn't look like we're going to get many, but it's definitely a good sign to have a guy that can just the glue guy, the guy that does it all. First guy in, last guy outside person. But yeah, definitely a bright spot for Team USA there.
Also some youth, kind of an old ass team if you look at it. You need some youth there. You need some kind of youth there, and they also loved watching him on the select team. He was hooping on the Team USA select team. Also, he didn't play this game, or at least not to my knowledge. He didn't get a lot of meaningful minutes. But we had the podcast on Friday. We do a rare morning episode because we were so cooked from Space Jam 2 the night before. And JaVale McGee
gets the Shams bomb.
JaVale McGee gets signed maybe 5 minutes later to Team USA. So we had to wait all weekend to talk about it. I was itching to do it because you know how much I love JaVale McGee. But in all seriousness, he was the guy I mentioned Dwight as a random guy they could bring in. Just a tall guy. JaVale doesn't have that he can guard like in the post big guys, but he has a shot blocking ability. You see a UFO, you look scared.
No, I think someone just walked by my apartment window. Ooh.
Oh, but yeah, JaVale McGee signed there. Not a lot of minutes, but what do you think about him swapping out for, I believe it's Kevin Love and Keldon Johnson's Beal's replacement?
Yeah, like we mentioned, just a guy who can rim run, be a shot blocker, lob threat, just a little bit of variability on the offensive and defensive end. Center rotation gets a little bit taller. You're not going to be like you mentioned. Every team it seems has 2 7-foot guys who are, I don't know what is going on. I just keep.
You getting robbed right now?
I hope not. I heard noises tonight.
What would they take? That you have
a bunch of boxes, and a lamp with no light bulb in it. But yeah, they finally get someone who can block shots, rim run. Just you can't really defend on the perimeter, but they have guys who can do that. Just like you had mentioned, a team Every national team seems like has two big 7-foot guys. He can defend them pretty well. So much needed move for Team USA.
Yeah, he's not in the because Tyson Chandler is probably the best one they've had because you had Dwight in the Redeem team in 2012, which is in 2008, which is like he was like a superstar and he was great as a defensive player too. And then 2012 you get Tyson Chandler. 2016 you get DeAndre Jordan. They keep slowly kind of going down. But JaVale McGee, he's gonna block shots. He's gonna make a few bonehead plays, but he's a 3-time champion for a reason. He's got good IQ. Do you think he'll have like that much of a role? Because it seems like they're running Bam a lot this game.
Yeah, they also started Draymond at the 5, so it probably just might end up being like matchup oriented. Maybe he honestly can't.
Matchup today was 7-1 Marc Gasol.
Maybe they knew Mark kind of plays more up on the top of the key like he did with the Lakers, but he's not like dribbling. He's not backing you down like a big low post center. But I mean, he doesn't. He can only play like 15 minutes. He's got like asthma or something. He would only play 12 minutes. He would only play 12 minutes as a starter on the Lakers, and he's probably just gonna a guy you throw in there, just randomly see what run you can get out of him. Just a safety option, honestly. You have someone over 7 foot where if Draymond or Bam something happens to him, foul trouble, gets injured, you have a safety blanket because they have a bunch of guards and forwards. They don't have many centers. So this was kind of that type of move to me.
And like when I made my Team USA team, I mentioned not a whole lot of centers out there like that are USA. Because league's dominated by big men right now, but you can't have Jokic, you can't have Embiid. Yeah, a lot of
Towns declined.
Foreign is boring. Like imagine if they had Giannis right now. Like that'd be crazy. But
they wouldn't lose an exhibition game nor an actual qualifying game.
But yeah, great game by Keldon Johnson. What do you think about Spain? And we're not gonna talk out our asses here. We got like 2 things to say about Spain.
Much about them.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you think? They look as good as this year as they do in previous years, or they got some old guys that are the same guys that have been around at the same last few Olympics.
They are definitely aging. I think though they're definitely probably one of the top 3 to 5 teams up there. So I'm not going to be surprised if they end competing for any of the top 3 medals. But that's about it. They're aging, but honestly, age is just a number in FIBA. I mean, guys, those guys can play until they're like 60 with how the pace and the offense works in FIBA. So that really doesn't matter to me as much.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys that like on their team in the NBA. They're like very, very basic role players. Then you give like Juancho Hernangomez the keys to your offense. He's like flipping threes like crazy, just splash. I'm like, oh my god, any player can run an offense like in the NBA. It's just that competitive. But yeah, very happy that Team USA is now 2-2. They would have been we could have debated and seen if they would have had more wins than losses. They were having odd numbers of games, but obviously Friday got canceled. Now they head to Tokyo. And then I will apologize. I thought Christian Wood was confirmed. I said last podcast, I'm like, they picked Christian Wood up.
No, sir.
They were just reaching out to him, and they went ahead and went with Joe McGee. Yes or no to that?
Yes or no to what?
Do you think that was? Let's say Christian Wood said yes, and Team USA is like, we're going with JaVale McGee instead. Is that not the move? You think?
No.
You think they made you think Langelo made a mistake there?
Are you kidding me?
7-1. I mean, you really think he's 7-1?
I mean, if you look at it as okay,
he's the only pure center they have on the roster right now. By the way,
that's
it's
true.
JaVale McGee.
I mean, Christian Wood's just another guy that stretches the floor, and you have a guy that's going to go in there and will definitely compete for boards and hustle and block shots. So I guess that's the right pick. And honestly, I think with them having Bam, Draymond, and even KD, who is 7 foot and has played the center at some points this season, they just wanted a guy who won't demand a lot of minutes. It's kind of like me and Reckley. You throw me in there for 10 minutes, I'm going to go balls to the walls. You're going to get out of McGee.
I like that. Excuse me. But yeah, Team USA, that's that. I will say the defense in FIBA, very good. But when USA gets cooking, it's tough to be the opposing team. But like I said, I think Australia gives them real problems. We'll see in the actual Tokyo Olympics. Moving on here, we got a few small ones, and then we're going to call it because it is 4 a.m. But Wizards hire Wes Unseld Jr. as the new head coach. You may know his dad, Wes Unseld Sr., only player to win MVP in his rookie season, I believe. I believe it was with Wizards too, so this is just another guy where he's more of a player development guy. Everyone loves him, pays his dues. There's a lot of Steven Silases this offseason getting hired and finally getting a chance. And I was kind of pulling for Wes to get that Wizards job. It was between him and like two other guys that I would have known their names if we had a podcast on Saturday before he got hired, but I forgot him. The only one that matters is the one who got hired. So, I mean, just what do you think about Wizards going in? I know we don't know a whole lot about Wes, so I'll just say first-time head coach. Do you like the Wizards going with that kind of starting fresh? Because you might remember they have two All-Stars, a former MVP, a former scoring champ. They also have a lot of young guys. So does this kind of show you like, hey, maybe they're gonna go in a younger direction because they definitely could have gotten a veteran head coach.
Yeah, no, you make a good point there. I really didn't think about that. Do I necessarily see them blowing it up? No, not really. But I think the balance of like, all-stars, scoring title guys, and rookies might help him sense like some sort of direction of where they want to go. But besides that, I'm not going to get into it a whole heck of a lot basketball-wise because I really don't know what he's going to bring and what they see out of him. But just hiring-wise and, he's probably been around the organization. Obviously, his dad played with them. Like you said, won MVPs. They won. He's
been on Mike Malone's staff, I forgot to mention, for a while. He's been a Nuggets assistant for a while.
Yeah, and that's Mike Malone's a wonderful coach, great with development as well. So, yeah, that might work as well. The Bullets won a title with him, right?
No. I want to say no.
I thought they did.
No.
But anyways, I'm sure.
Keep talking.
Okay. He's probably been around the organization. I'm sure his dad talked about, how great it was. So it's kind of like a full circle moment for him. I like it, and I wish him the best, obviously. But you're still looking it up, I suppose.
I am. He won in 78 with the Bullets. Good stuff.
Yeah, there we go.
And
your basketball history folk today.
They are now the Wizards, so a little bit of nepotism there. But I'm joking, of course. He earned it 12 years as an assistant. You got to give him a chance eventually. And everyone knows I would much rather give someone their first shot to coach an NBA team, especially when you're rebuilding, than like, let's go hire Mike D'Antoni for the 6th time. Like, just get some new blood in there.
There's a lot. I do like this because there's always, like the recycled head coaches. And it's like, how do these guys keep getting opportunities? And I feel like seeing this.
I'm like, why does Tom Thibodeau get like a 4th chance before like Becky Hammond or Steven Silas
got like 5 years? Doc Rivers blowing multiple 3-1 leads and gets a shot with like a contender.
They coached him for 20 years.
Yeah, I know. And no, I like it. And especially assistants deserve to get promoted like this,
Yeah.
Their work, it's not going unnoticed as much anymore, but they play a big role in some of these teams' success.
Biggest assistant coach adjustment, Luke Walton said to start Andre Iguodala in the 2015 finals. And he locked down LeBron, held him to 36 points and 12 assists. But yeah, so we agree with the hire there. We're not going to say it's a bad hire. Like, he's giving a guy a first chance. And like I said, like, if you know anything about Wes Unseld, comment, because I don't know a whole lot about him. I think he's defensive oriented. He's great with player development. But other than that, just seems like a cool guy. Just a good guy. Last topic. I'm sure everyone's heard now, but Dame held a press conference, and he basically said that there was a Mickey Mouse news report. Like, he hasn't decided yet, and he's basically still mulling his options over in Portland. He has now requested a trade. I was very impressed by Josh because he's like, streets are talking. Like, Dame's going to request a trade the next 2 days. And then like an hour later,
everyone's like, ahead of the presses.
No, like an hour later, everyone's like, Dame wants out. Like it became like Bleacher Report official. And then Dame was like, no, you're all wrong. Here it is. But maybe that's the most trade value. Maybe if he doesn't want out, they have to offer more. Yin and yang. But what do you think about? I guess I'll give you a direct question. Do you think Dame is actually telling the truth here? Do you think he's very content in Portland for now?
For now, yes. But I do think some of the rumors were real. And what I think he's doing precisely, I think it's more of like this is your last chance last year. I'm not going to. I'm frustrated and I want out, but I realize he's got 4 years left, and maybe it's not the right time. His
4-year extension kicks in this year.
This year,
So
he's
it's
going to
start
be
of a 4-year. Yeah,
he's going to be in Tokyo. He's not going to want to orchestrate a trade while playing for his country and playing in the Olympics. So I think with everything going on, that those leaks might have been true, but he's going to backtrack and be like, okay, I see the light. I'm giving you one more year, and if you guys can't, go all in, build around me, and we don't have at least make the conference finals, because second round for them, that shouldn't be their goal. Then he'll say, I'm going to request a trade next offseason.
I feel like you're onto something with that whole last chance thing. That's a little unreal. What are they gonna do? Like,
I know
you are not making Portland might be a play-in team next year with how the Warriors are reloading. We'll see how the Lakers offseason goes. We'll see how Kawhi's injury is really affected. We know the Nuggets will be back, even though they're missing Murray till about the same time the Clippers missing Kawhi. Still injuries there, but yeesh, man, I don't see a way where if he actually cares about winning now, because it seems like he's just been caring about being loyal, being in Portland. He wants to win. If he wants to win, he's got to get out of Portland, because then it's just going to cause more drama. It's going to put more stress on Portland. Just rip the Band-Aid off now.
For them, in such an injury-riddled season, I mean, it took them forever to pass the Lakers. I mean, Bron and AD were down for weeks. They hadn't even made up ground, man. Like, we've seen teams, play the teams ahead of them, a.k.a. Bucks and Suns. Not going to call it Mickey Mouse because I don't want to do that. But taking advantage of the landscape of the league. Blazers went out in the first round to an injury-riddled Nuggets team that got swept the next series. And Jokic was just you can't beat that team. How can you expect to contend? And they might just feel trapped. I don't know, but it definitely should be in his best interest to leave.
They're in NBA purgatory. They're good, not great, good, not bad. And when you're just kind of stuck there, like what, like that's literally what the play-in is. You're decent. You keep your fan base happy, and it's Portland, so that's all that really matters. But it's starting to feel like that conference finals was kind of a fluky year. Just off the dome right now, I'm thinking, if you're a GM, would you rather pursue a trade for Lillard or Beal?
I don't. That's an interesting question. I've just probably Dame. I'd go Dame.
You'd go Dame?
Yeah, and I mean I know in 2017 obviously Beal won, but I mean Dame's been like the number one go-to guy. He's closed out series. You look at this season, his clutch numbers were absolutely crazy. I think, he definitely led the league in like clutch time baskets. I mean, Dame time. I think if you surrounded both players with the right pieces, I think the team that Dame had would go further. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I just think he's more of a winning player when he has the chance to be.
No, it makes sense, and I definitely think that Dame is the better player. But I think there are different trades. I think Dame is someone who is going to a team that has a lot of young talent. Is going to swap that for them, like a Knicks or something. And then Beal is like, "Hey, you're solid, but you were one piece away. We got to lobby, kind of like a Bucks when they traded for Holiday. I think it's something like that, where they're one piece away."
Are both ones on a chip team? Like the number one? I think, I don't know. I guess it depends who they play with, but
it's a good. I feel like Dame is just because his leadership. He's got the intangibles. I don't know. Beal has not had winning seasons.
Exactly. I know. I feel like Beal is someone that it's almost like an AD versus like Yanni comparison. It's like AD is better when you plug him next to someone who can benefit his play style. But Yanni's
I don't want to get on Joe Rogan, but one's an alpha, one's a beta. Like that's kind of how it. And alpha's lead, and we're seeing right now Giannis is a leader. AD last year was the Lakers' arguably the best player in the playoffs. Him or LeBron, it was neck and neck. But LeBron's the alpha leader. It's just there's leaders and there's great players, and I feel like Beal is that great player and Dame is that leader. But it is Dame decision time very soon here.
He's running out.
I say that with 4 years left in his contract, but it's kind of messy this situation. But Hey, we'll see. We'll update you guys as it comes through, and I'm sure Josh will have his ear to the streets once again. But that's going to do it for tonight's episode. Under an hour, as usual. Thanks for watching or listening. If you like what you're, make sure to follow us at THHoopers, Insta, and maybe Twitter. Or, McAfee scan virus. Oh, there we go. So I lost you for a second there. Instagram, and then also G_Martin21 on Twitter. Check him out. He's kind of neat. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. And I think Josh will be back a little bit. I shouldn't miss a podcast, but I'm going to AZ Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, so I'll be there for 2 podcasts. If we get some good, I can't miss it if we get a winner. There's going to be way too good at games for me to miss these podcasts, so I'll be here. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for being an OG, and enjoy the game soon.